Hey there, it's Marley, and it's time for my October TBR. So let's talk about the books I'm hoping to read in the month of October. As you well know, it is the spooky month, so we're definitely going to be diving into some spooky books this month. I should have decorated my shelves. I haven't taken out my fall decor yet. That was a fail. Starting out, I'm going to talk about the 3 books I plan to read for a themed reading vlog. The theme is going to be very obvious, but I'm not going to say it. It's a reading vlog theme that many people have done, but I have never done it. So it's going to be unique for me. Starting out, we're going to do The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Instantly, you probably know what the theme's going to be. This is like the OG dark academia book. I'm pretty sure it's considered like a modern classic. And I just know that when people read dark academia, they read this book and they think about this book a lot. I'm actually not super sure of like the plot. I assume it's like a basic dark academia plot, but let's just see what Goodreads says. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last inexorably into evil. This was published in 1992, so it's not too old of a classic, so hopefully I will still be able to enjoy it. By the sounds of the descriptions, I think I would like it. I really do like the idea of dark academia taking place at a school setting. Is really fun. A group of characters together is something I always look for in the media I consume. Groups of friends or groups of strangers interacting. So high hopes for that. Moving along to the second book for that vlog, I want to read If We Were Liars, and this is by M.L. Rio. It's another dark academia book, and it's something that I've been hearing about on BookTube for years. And there was a time where I was like, I'm not really interested in that book. I hear about it a lot, don't really care for it. I think that was partly because it seemed to do so much with like Shakespeare, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. But in the last year or so, I saw some reviews of it. I can't remember who I heard talking about it, but they just really convinced me to pick it up. And so it's, a similar idea. We have a bunch of characters, 7 bright young things, and they're going to the school and they're Shakespearean actors, but in their last year on opening night, violence takes place. So I think someone was murdered, and so it's a question of like which of the friends did it. And then we're seeing flash forwarding as well to 10 years in the future, and this is where the secrets are finally coming out of what happened when they were back in college. Sounds great. Sounds great for me. The final one we have is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is another popular dark academia book, but as far as I know, this one touches a little bit more into like the fantasy realm, as Leigh Bardugo is a fantasy writer. I've read almost all of her Grishaverse series, and this is her first adult book that she put out. So I know it's about this character Alex who goes to Yale and then gets wrapped up in some sort of cult there, or some sort of secret society. I'm a little worried about this one. I feel like I hear mixed things. Like some people really, really love it, and some people just weren't really a big fan. I would say overall, her Grishaverse books are generally like around a 4-star read for me. So as long as this can be at least a 4-star, I'll be happy. Can you guess the theme of the reading vlog? Okay, a couple other books for this month. So I hope to be finishing up this book if I haven't already finished it, and that's Chalice of the Gods by Riordan. I don't think I mentioned this in my September TBR, but I actually will be reading it still in September probably, as it comes out the 26th. But since I didn't mention it in my previous TBR, this is something I'm going to be hopefully finishing up. It is the newest book in the Percy Jackson world, and I think Rick really wrote it to kind of promote the TV series that is coming out at the end of the year. And what I know is that it's about Percy trying to get to college but having to go on some sort of quest with monsters and all that sort of classic Percy Jackson stuff. But very excited to read another book that is having Percy as the main character, as I've been reading all of Rick's other books that take place in this world, but it's been a while since we were actually following Percy. Another really exciting book that I don't have with me yet because it's not out quite yet is going to be Cassandra Clare's new book, Swordcatcher. And this is the first book in a new fantasy series that she's starting. It is her first adult fantasy, and I'm so excited. It comes out like mid-October or early October. I'm gonna be doing a reading vlog for this so you can get my full thoughts. But she's one of my favorite authors. I have a whole shelf for her right here, so just really excited for that. And just a quick little thing on the description of this book, because I don't quite like understand it just to say off the top of my head. It's apparently about 2 outcasts who find themselves at the center of world-altering change in the start of of a riveting epic fantasy series. It takes place in the city-state of Castellane, where the richest of nobles and the most debauched of criminals have one thing in common: the constant search for wealth, power, and the next hedonistic thrill. Anyways, interested in seeing some new characters from her, some new relationships, and new whole world building things. So who else is reading it this month? Let me know in the comments. Then I'm going to go back to some thriller horror vibes. That's the main thing I want to focus on reading this month. It's just I have to read those other fantasies to keep up with my favorite authors, you know? So I would love to get to How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. He's a horror author I really enjoy. I especially loved his Vampire Slayer book. This came out at the beginning of the year and I just haven't got to yet. I've been kind of wanting to save it for October because it is a horror. I think all I know about it is that there's these people trying to sell this house that is haunted. I've mostly heard good things from people I trust. I think I've heard a couple other mixed things, but overall still very excited to read this. Another book it would be good to get to would be The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I did get this last year, I think, but it might have been not until Christmas. I can't quite remember. But again, kind of a book you want to save for the spooky season, save for October. If you don't know, this is a YA horror fantasy, and it's actually based off the book / movie Carrie. So we're following a girl who is mixed race. What she's been hiding from everyone is that she is mixed race. I think she's just been white passing her whole life. And then when it comes out that she is Black, she starts getting bullied and everything, like how Carrie did about her period. So it's a little bit of a different take on it, but I think it's told in a similar way. I'm a little worried because I didn't like Carrie and how it was told. So if it has the same style, I am a little worried about it, but hopefully the content will still be great. And I think the last one I would like to fit in would be this thriller book, Everyone Here Is Lying by Shari Lapena. As you guys probably know, she's one of my favorite thriller authors up until recently when I read a couple of her flop books, but I found that her newer ones are better. So I really have high hopes for this as her newest thriller. I've heard really good things about it. Basically, it seems to be about a child gone missing story. We're following, again, just kind of some domestic storylines, some family stuff. There's affairs going on, kind of her typical thing, but I'm hoping it will have some good twists, some good reveals, and will be a good fit for the spooky season, as I said. So that's just my quick little TBR. Let me know what you are reading this month, and let me know if you're going to prioritize the new Cassandra Clare. Are you excited for that? And be sure to subscribe so you can see my themed vlog and my vlog for Sword Catcher. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great fall season, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!